Welcome to Back to School Night 2020-2021. Our Back to School Night looks a little bit different this year, but I'm going to walk you through our presentation so that way you can think about any questions you might have and you can send them to me when we have our Back to School Night this Tuesday, which will take place on the 15th. So a little bit about me. Obviously, my name is Miss Isaac. My first name is Helen. This is my second year of teaching, both of which I've had the pleasure of teaching first grade at Madison Place. I absolutely love it there. I went to Mid-America Nazarene University for my undergrad, and I just started my master's degree from them this past May. It's been quite a time to start taking my master's, and I'm getting that my reading specialist degree from them right now. I've grown up in the KC area all my life, and I recently got engaged over the summer and will be getting married next summer in June of 2021. These are a few of my favorite things. I've already told all your students that this is my cat dog, who I absolutely love, my orange tabby cat. He is a sweetheart. Even for those that don't love cats, he is just so sweet. This is my mom and dad right here. This is my fiance Michael. This is Chipotle. I love Chipotle. And this is my older brother Jason. This is our sample schedule. This is our current schedule that we've been following currently right now that I sent all of you, and it's also posted on our LMS site on Synergy. And then this is the proposed new schedule that I would like to change to starting the week of September 21st. The only thing that is different on here is that I have just flip-flopped my office hours to the very end of the day and these small group times here up so that they're not at the very end of the day. And my reasoning for that is just that I feel like first graders learn better earlier in the day, and I feel like if they are at the very end of the day that they're just kind of dragging a little bit and just not as focused as they would like to be. And so I'd like to try that for a little bit and just see how it goes. And so that's the new schedule that I would like to try starting the 21st. And I just would like to remind you that my office hours are a time that whether it's your student or you have a question, that is the best time to pop in and talk to me live on Zoom. Otherwise, you're always welcome to send me an email and I will get back to you too. But I just want you to know that if your student has a question about a homework assignment or something that we did during one of our whole group Zooms, that's a great time for them to talk to me then. Or if you have a question about something too. I just don't have the time during when I'm meeting whole group of students to be able to answer those questions, but during my office hours is when you can ask me any of those questions or your students can. This is Classlink and student textbooks. By now you probably have figured this out, but just in case you haven't, once your student logs into Classlink, they can get onto Student View, and this will lead to the class website on Synergy, which is where our classroom website is, and eventually the specialists should be getting their information and activities up there too. I'm really hoping that you'll be able to view the specialist activities there this week. Fingers crossed that they will be able to post those this week. And then clicking on the weekly agenda on my website on Synergy will be the best place for you to see the learning goals for the week as well as individual assignments for your students to complete. I also plan on emailing you those independent assignments that your student needs to complete so that you will know what assignments they need to complete when they are not on that whole group Zoom with me. Within Classlink, if you have gotten on Classlink already with your student, you will have seen these different icons. These are different resources that we have from different textbooks that we normally would have hard copies of in the classroom, and some of which we have hard copies already that I sent home with your student, like the Journeys book. And the Inspired Science book is just a paper-bound textbook that you'll get to keep. But these can also be accessed through Classlink, and there's some additional resources that you can access online through those. So if you haven't already gotten a chance to check those out, that's something that your student can access through Classlink, and sometimes we will utilize those throughout the semester as well. TCI is our social studies resource, and then Think Central is just what Journeys is called, but I will always refer to it as Journeys and not Think Central. Screen recording is something that I might ask your student to do at times, like if they are going to read a book digitally on their iPad, and I want to hear how they are doing with reading, so I will have them screen record something. And so this is very simple directions. It is a really short little video made by another first grade Olathe teacher that you can click on here to watch how to put screen record on the drop down menu on your iPad. And so I would suggest putting this onto your iPad, and then this is a little video that you can kind of see like what it would look like for your child to do the screen record feature. This is a kindergartner reading, so it would look a little bit different for your student to be reading, because this kindergartner is just reading the pictures and not reading the actual words. But I suggest that you try clicking on these videos. I will be sending the link to this presentation out to you too, so you'll be able to click on these videos. But I suggest that you click on these and go ahead and adding this screen record feature to the iPad that it shows you how to do really easily. These are some apps to add to the iPad. Some of these I have already asked you to download from the Mozile, and this is directions for how to add apps to our district provided iPad. Again, this is a little short YouTube video that was made by another Olathe teacher. It's super short. Some of these you probably already have because I've asked you to get them, but in case you haven't been able to get them because of technology problems, you can go ahead and get these on here. And then some of these I haven't asked you to get on there yet. So go ahead and make sure that you have all of these apps downloaded onto your child's iPad. These are some websites to add to the iPad. This is a really cool feature that I actually just recently learned about, that you can add a website to the iPad and make it look like an app. And so this is another little short YouTube video that you can watch for how you can add a website to your child's iPad. So for example, I'll have them go to Zern frequently, and so instead of having them have to type that into Safari every time, there's directions here. Again, it's a really short video. I believe it's less than 2 minutes, or it's just over 2 minutes, that shows how you can add that to the iPad home screen, so that then they can just click on it and it'll take them directly to the login page of Zern, and they don't have to type it in. And so these are some different sites that I would like you to add to their home screen. Again, there's the directions right here for how they can do that, for how you can help your student do that. Some of you have asked me already how we will turn in work. One of the things I am learning this year is just the name of the game is going to be flexibility, and as teachers we are doing a lot of pivoting, and we just recently got word from the district that we can use Seesaw now. We originally were told that we could not use Seesaw, so I'm super happy about that. I don't know if you have used Seesaw before, but it is incredibly user-friendly. It's very easy for students to use, and a lot more user-friendly than it was going to be for students to try to turn in work through the Dropbox on Synergy. And so I am going to have them turn in, like for example, like their hard copy math papers. I'm going to have them take a picture of it on their iPad and turn it in on Seesaw. And I will teach the students how to do that, but it will be something that they will soon get very quick at, and it should not be super hard for them. The nice thing about this is that they can make it so that it is only them, and so the only person that will see it on Seesaw when they submit it is me, the teacher, and you can link your parent account to it too, so you can see when stuff is posted to Seesaw, and then the students can like the personal student. So like if I had a student named Sam, Sam would see his own assignment there and I would see it as the teacher, but none of the other students would see it. So it would just be between him and I, and if his parents were linked to the account. And so that's nice that there's just some privacy there. There could be times that if there was an assignment that two students were working on it together, that they could both be tagged in it and both post it together. But if it was an individual assignment, then only that specific student would see their own work and their families. These are the Zoom expectations that I went over with the students. This is just what is expected when we are all together with our whole group Zoom or in our small group Zoom. The first graders have been doing an awesome job with this, but you know, things that should come, I think, kind of common sense, but you never want to assume things and just kind of go over them with the kids and just make sure that they understand. But they have really been rocking Zoom. I've been really impressed with them. They've been doing a great job. These are some daily 5 options. Daily 5 is normally when we are in person in the classroom, what would look like center time for us. And these are the different centers that we would normally have. So word work is like spelling and sight words, work on writing time, read to self, read to someone, and listening to reading. And so these are some different ideas that I have provided for you that you could have at home to kind of have some different daily 5 options to have for your student. These are some different PDFs that I have uploaded from different documents that I have either purchased myself or ones that I got free that I am sharing with you that you could print at home. If for some reason you don't have a printer at home and you'd be interested in these, you can shoot me an email and let me know. But these are just some things. A lot of them are just basic ones that whatever spelling pattern that we're working on that week that they could practice with, so they're pretty generic ones. They're not like specific ones. These are primary writing pages, so they have that dotted line in the middle to help them practice writing correctly. This is a letter card template, like if they were going to write to a friend or to a maybe to a relative that doesn't live there, live in the same house with them. So these are just some ideas. I won't read it all to you, you can read it on your own, but just some ideas that you can have them practice so that they're getting that daily 5 in when they're at home. These are some things that I won't do with them during our whole group, but some things that they could do as independent practice. This is something that I wanted to include too of, you know, I think even when I'm in person, a question that I always get is, what do I do when I'm finished with my work? And so this is just like a little choice board that I have created here, and just some different ideas that you could have your students do if they are finished with everything, or if they've explored some of those daily 5 options, they've done all their independent work for that day. These are some different ideas that you could have your students do when they're all finished. So what I want you to do is, if you have any questions after this presentation that you're thinking about, just jot those down, and when we meet on Tuesday for back to school night, we'll have 2 different sessions. We will have one session that will take place from 6 to 6:30, and then another session that will take place from 6:30 to 7. So we'll have 2 different sessions. If you have a question, you can feel free to join one of those sessions and pop on and ask one of those questions. If you don't have any questions, that's totally fine. Hopefully I'm able to answer most of them through this presentation. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that I was able to clear up some questions that you might have had.